Hi, I'm Marla with Marla Gets Fit, coming to you from Grants Pass, Oregon, and it's not as late as I have been. It's a little bit before 9 p.m. So I just want to do a quick video. Um, is breakfast really important? You know how when you grew up, all you ever heard is you got to eat your breakfast, you got to get a good meal to start your day off. Well, is that really important? Do we really need to eat that breakfast? So I just wanted to go over this. I've been reading some research on that. Let me just see if I can get this shared really quick. Hopefully Facebook will cooperate. What is today? Today's Tuesday. Hope you had a great day today. The week is kind of flying by for me. I can't tell what day it is. It's been super busy as usual at work. Let's see, share. Haha. So anyway, I've been reading this magazine, Intermittent Fasting. It's kind of a book magazine, so it's got lots of great information. So I wanted to share some stuff with you, but first I got a couple updates. So let's see, super busy at work today. What did I have? I did have a fried egg sandwich for lunch on the keto bread, which was really yummy. I hadn't had one for a couple of days. I was kind of laying low on them, on the bread, trying to keep it down, but super yummy. I love the keto bread. It is so good, and they did have a lot of it at Costco when we went last weekend. And then for dinner, if you saw my post, just did a quick little barbecue on our grill, hot dogs and a hamburger with sugar-free ketchup, and then I put a little mayonnaise on my burger, which is really yummy. Super good, and quick and easy, and so I can get my work done. I had to do that. But anyway, so I've been reading this intermittent fasting little booklet, and so one of the articles is about breakfast. Is that really important? Because I know when I was growing up, that's what I heard all the time. You can't skip meals, you can't skip breakfast, you gotta eat your breakfast to get your day started right, or you won't have any energy, or you'll pig out the rest of the day and all this kind of good stuff. So this is talking about new research is saying that that's not really true, especially, you know, I have had people ask me that question because I talk about intermittent fasting, and you know, they say, well, you're supposed to eat your breakfast, so, and I say, well, no, you don't really have to. And this has a little bit more information. So it says, the decades of advice urging us to eat a good breakfast to start the day, but new science is telling a different story. And it says, apologies to your moms everywhere who were always telling us that morning meals are essential. Kind of funny. So it talks about you need energy from food to start the day and function at your best. That's what we've all been told all the time. But it says you'll binge on bad stuff, and you'll eat a lot more, and all that kind of good stuff. But that's not really what they're finding. It turns out that this is kind of upside down. In fact, a third of the people in developed countries skip breakfast. And I know I skipped breakfast a lot before I even started my low carb journey. It says, let's see, a professor, that's partly because many people simply aren't hungry for breakfast. And that's perhaps due to the circadian rhythm of our hunger hormone. That hormone, which drives appetite, is lowest at 8 a.m. and it peaks at its highest levels at 8 p.m. And at the same time, the insulin sensitivity, and that is your ability for your body to respond to food without a flood of insulin, is highest in the mornings. So some of us use that fact to urge breakfast eating on the rationale that calories you consume in the AM will be used more efficiently. But here's the thing. In the morning, in the case of insulin, really means after a period of overnight fasting. And if you prolong that fasting period, you'll have an even more beneficial effect on insulin sensitivity. Something that has been shown in people following the 16-8 intermittent fasting plan. And this is comprehensive studies are finally catching up to what people are who routinely skip breakfast have long known. That is, it is at worst neutral, and at best actually better for your health and your weight. So that's pretty cool to get some studies now that are finally proving this fact. Okay. And it talks about a recently published study. It says they found that people assigned to eat breakfast at a higher overall daily had a higher overall daily calorie intake, meaning that breakfast skippers did not compensate for the skipped calories later in the day. It also found that those assigned to skip breakfast weighed slightly less than the breakfast eaters. So that's pretty cool. It says, let's see, it may be that many earlier studies, most of which were observational rather than clinical, had confounding factors. It says they think they observed, the observational studies have shown that obese and diabetic people skipped meals more often than thin people, but they're thinking that that probably was just more not a cause and effect, but just an association. So let's see, what else we got? Take the same people who put them on the 68 fasting plan that skip breakfast, and they will likely be just as healthy. Let's see. As far as hunger, many people find that they feel hungrier if they do eat breakfast. And I think I do find that. If I eat breakfast, then I kind of want to eat more, and it feeds that. But if I don't eat the breakfast, I'm really not that hungry. Let's see. As far as hunger, losing my place here. It says, especially if as far as hunger, most people don't feel hungrier, especially if it was largely a carb-based, which is what most people eat in the U.S., like bagels and cereals and that sort of thing. It triggers your insulin surge, and that makes you even more hungry. Let's see. Many people do find it easier to forego breakfast because you've already been fasting. And this is true because you've already been fasting for 10 to 12 hours with your sleep. And this is what I always say, because I do my fasting from 7 p.m. to 11 a.m. So most of your fasting is done while you're sleeping, which makes it so easy. And then it's not that hard just to add a little bit more time in the morning onto your fasting. But it's a lot harder if you eat a breakfast or you eat a meal and then you try to fast more later on, like you're not supposed to eat all day. So if you eat in between, you're actually making it harder on yourself. And that's what they're talking about here. And the biggest thing is, if you do love breakfast, if you like omelets and bacon and that sort of thing, instead of eating it for breakfast, just eat it for lunch or even dinner. And that's pretty much what I do. I will do eggs and bacon a lot of times, whatever. I do my breakfast, make it more of a brunch after 11 a.m. and then I still get my breakfast and I don't miss it at all. Let's see. Trying to eat all of those. Anyway, so that's the gist of the article and the research that they're having right now. So it shows that really people don't need to eat that breakfast. The fasting is really good. The intermittent fasting really helps with your weight and also not feeling as hungry and your insulin resistance. And there's all kinds of good things like that. So thought that would be interesting to you. I thought it was interesting to me because I know I was told all while I was growing up that you have to eat breakfast. And now I know why. I really wasn't hungry and I shouldn't have been eating breakfast all this time. So anyway, I hope that was interesting. So if you want to get some information on intermittent fasting, if you are thinking about it, because everyone's talking about it, it's like all the rage, this kind of eating plan or way of eating. I have a guide, a 16-page complete guide to intermittent fasting. It tells you all about it, all the benefits, tons of awesome health benefits to intermittent fasting, and some non-health benefits as well that you'll find really surprising. But it's a 16-page guide, tells you what to do, what not to do, how to get started. Also there's a few different variations. There's a 16-8, and then there's a 24-hour fast. There's 1 meal per day, all those kind of things. So different variations of it. You have to find what works for you. But if you'd like that, just send me a private message and say fasting guide, and be happy to send it to you. You can check it out, get started, start getting healthier, feeling better, and all that kind of good stuff. So have a great rest of your evening, and tomorrow's Wealth Wednesday, so be sure and plan your cool Wealth Wednesday deed. I love to leave an extra large tip. That's one of my favorite things, or you can pay for the person behind you in the drive-thru. But it's such an awesome feeling to be able to do that. It makes you feel good. It makes them feel good. And you never know when that small random act of kindness will just totally change someone's day. They might be having a totally lousy day, and it might totally turn them around, and then they'll pass it on, and it's like this big ripple effect. So anyway, that's all I have. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on my next video.